So we're going to do the same thing we did originally. We're going to start on the outside. The exit. We're doing that again.
I will. Have I not been staying close? A little closer? Okay, I just don't want to hit him with my elbows.
I think we're also going to stand at 45 so we can get everybody over.
All 2 women. Good? So if I sign like this? Okay.
You're going to get me in trouble with this guy. Oxford is going to help me.
I wanted to see it right here. Have some tea, Deb? Have some
Everybody? Yeah.
Oh, we're not? Nice job, Coach.
We didn't say that earlier. He was facing us, so I just did what I was told.
Squeeze in. All right.
45 if we could, so we can get everybody in.
All right, microphone test, 1, 2, 3. This is the 6:30 p.m. press conference for the Kincade incident affecting Sonoma, Lake, and Napa counties. I'm Jonathan Cox, Division Chief and Information Officer with CAL FIRE, Incident Management Team 6. Just to start things off, as usual, if you can mute your phones and take any conversations outside of the press conference area, it would be greatly appreciated. Additionally, we will have a Spanish language version of this press conference immediately at the conclusion of the English language. Additionally, we will have time for questions and answers for those who are on the stage, and we will also have time for one-on-one interviews at the conclusion of the entire press conference. With that, I would just like to take a moment. I know a lot of people stand behind me at these press conferences, and although a lot of the information comes from here, a lot of the hard work, decisions, and support comes from who stands behind this podium. So just want to recognize a few people who have been here through the entire incident and are an equally contributing member of the success of this. And that starts out with the supervisor, Supervisor Gore, Supervisor Zane, Supervisor Hopkins, additionally, obviously, the chair of the board, Rabbit. Also, the mayors from Healdsburg, Windsor, Santa Rosa have all been by our sides, and we truly appreciate that. As far as chiefs go, Chief Navarro, Chief Gosney, we see them up here as well from the city of Santa Rosa, are an equally important member of the decision-making process and very valuable to this. And finally, just for the elected officials you see up here, one of the greatest supports we have in the fire service is a lot of these advocates behind us. Assemblymember Wood, Senator Dodd, Assemblymember Levine, Congressman Thompson. We appreciate their hard work, and we appreciate them literally standing by our side through all of this. So just to start things off, where are we at right now from this morning? We are now at 4,870 firefighters, personnel on the fire line as of right now. The fire grew slightly today. We're at 76,138 acres. We are still at 15% containment. So 76,138 acres with 15% containment as of this evening. As far as the structures that have been destroyed and damaged, the damage inspection process continues. And with that, we can confirm 189 structures have now been destroyed. 86 of those are single-family dwellings. In addition, we have 39 structures that have been damaged. 26 of those are residential structures. Currently, we have 27 helicopters assigned to the incident. Those rotary wing helicopters have dropped 2.1 million gallons of water on the fire since the beginning of this incident. Our large air tankers and entire air tanker fleet have dropped just over 1 million gallons of retardant as well. For this evening, we do have red flag conditions that we are under again, and obviously the offshore wind The fire has made it to the edge of the Tubbs burn scar, which obviously is about 2 years old. And finally, the last piece of information that's changed since this morning that may be of interest is we now have a single evacuation map that incorporates all 3 counties. That URL you can find behind me up on the wall. So there's a single map for all 3 counties for people to reference for evacuations. With that, and to get some information on the current weather conditions, I'll hand it over to Ryan Walburn from the National Weather Service.
All right, well that's easy for you to say. So the red flag conditions do continue right now through the overnight hours until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's Wednesday afternoon. Right now we still are seeing wind gusts of around 50 miles an hour up near Mount St. Helena. Those are impacting the fire as we've heard. Right in the center of the fire we're still gusting about 35 miles an hour, and the humidity values are observed at 6% right now. So we're all feeling good, but the conditions remain incredibly dry and windy out there. We do think as we get towards midnight tonight that the winds will start to die down, and as we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll notice that the winds are much lighter. Nonetheless, the red flag warning will continue tomorrow. We have switching winds. We're going to get a little bit of a southwest push, so this ebb and flow that Jonathan talks about will continue with the very dry conditions. And as I've reported previously, the weather does look more favorable as we head towards the end of the work week and into the weekend. Unfortunately, still no rain in the forecast. Thank you.
Speaking next to talk about fire behavior is Steve Vollmer, our fire behavior analyst.
Good evening. With the northeast winds that we still are currently feeling up there on the mountains, everybody's still anticipating those high rates of spread, the erratic fire behavior. We're also seeing that push some of those fire embers back into the main burn. So it's very advantageous for us in some areas, but very destructive in others. The crews are actively engaged up there. They're looking for those spot fires, and they're being as safe as they possibly can in where they're working. The fuels in the area are critically dry. The meteorologist said that the relative humidity is going to be 6% tonight. The live fuel moisture up there is at 50%. 60% is critical, so it's well below the critical threshold. That's why these spot fires are so important to the firefighters, so that they can find those and actively get them out quickly so that we don't have any other issues. As we go on through the week, we're going to see that fire threat and the fire behavior slowly diminish as we start getting those more favorable conditions. However, the deep-seated heat in the big stump holes and the trees that have been weakened by fire, as well as the wind, still cause us problems, as those tend to roll out and roll downhill and start new fires for us. Thank you.
And next from the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Essig.
Good evening. We had some good news today. About 2:30 p.m. this afternoon, the Sheriff's Office announced that we were lifting the evacuation order for the northern part of Zone 4, reducing that to an evacuation warning. What that meant is that 2,400 people in the northern part of Zone 4, the Dry Creek Valley, north and west of Healdsburg, were able to return to their homes today. They were able to do that without having to have a permit, and there was no need for identification checks. However, as those people went back to their homes, we want to caution them to be vigilant. Because of the high winds, we do have a number of branches down, so roadways may be different than what the residents saw when they left. So please be aware of those hazards. Also, many of these people are still returning to homes that are without power because of the PG&E power shutoff. So we want people to be vigilant, be aware. Communication may not be great. As I've mentioned before, when people are returning to evacuation zones, it is still under an evacuation warning. So what that means is that if you hear deputies in your area with a high-low siren, it means to be vigilant, pay attention to those, and the high-low siren will tell you that conditions have changed and you need to leave again. However, based on the best information we have at this time, we believe the risk is low enough that we can allow people back to their homes, and we know there's a lot of anxiety to get back there. Excuse me. We will continue to watch the fire very carefully tonight. We have over 260 deputies and peace officers from our allied agencies on patrol, and we are being supplemented by approximately 200 National Guardsmen who are also out there patrolling neighborhoods to ensure that we do not have any incidents. A couple interesting things I want to note that's happened in the evacuation areas over the last couple days is that the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, who's been assisting us with our public safety partners, they were photographed today helping ranchers feed their cattle. And we're going to put up some photos later on the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office Instagram and Facebook page of showing these officers out there helping people, working hand in hand to help feed livestock. We also had a number of deputies who were out in areas where trees were down, and they were able to assist residents in cutting up some trees and clearing roads. And we hope to have those photos posted for you as well, so you can see the amazing work that our deputies and our public safety partners are doing in these evacuation zones. Next, I want to give you a security update. Unfortunately, today, we took 3 reports of looting in some of the evacuated areas. Those reports are essentially cold burglary reports. We do not have any arrests behind them. They were simply incidents where residents had discovered that in their absence, that their home or their business had been broken into and items had been taken. The Sheriff's Office is currently investigating all these cases, and I can assure you that if we are able to determine those responsible, arrests will be made and we will prosecute those people to the fullest extent. As I covered earlier, we've made 3 arrests for unauthorized entry. That number has not changed. The Sheriff's Office is doing everything we can to get you back into your homes. We realize the anxiety there. We're going to continue to monitor the weather, and as we get advice from CAL FIRE and weather, we will hopefully have good news in the coming days to get people back to their homes. I want to also mention that our media partners throughout Sonoma County have been doing amazing work to keep everybody informed. One particular case I want to call out, the Press Democrat has over 30 reporters in the field providing information, gathering news, and disseminating it. In addition to all the other local media who is here tonight, we truly appreciate your partnership in helping keep the public informed. Hopefully we'll have some good repopulation news for you the next few days. I was able to visit the shelter across the street again today, and I have to tell you, the people that are over there are troopers. They're incredibly resilient. Many of them are wanting to get home, and that emotion certainly shows on their face. It's important to realize that we need to be empathetic to those who are without shelter right now, and if you have the ability to help someone who needs shelter or to be able to volunteer right now, it's certainly a need that's out there. So thank you very much for your cooperation with our public safety partners. Again, if you see peace officers at checkpoints or in evacuation zones, please follow their directions, and we appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Speaking next from the California Highway Patrol is Captain Wolf.
Good evening, everyone. Captain Aristotle Wolf, I'm the local CHP commander. California Highway Patrol continues to support the Sheriff's Department in their law enforcement and public safety efforts. And we remain on maximum staffing, not only here, but throughout the Bay Area. And we've added elements from other Bay Area offices to help you here in the county. We'll continue to do that. So far, I want to thank everyone. The repopulation efforts that have happened so far, people have been orderly and cooperative for the most part. Traffic conditions have remained favorable. Just as those areas expand, I just want to remind people not to enter areas that are still under evacuation. Again, they're there for a reason. Some very smart and hardworking people have decided that that's why they're there, and you need to abide by that. To the point of other behavior, we'll continue with our allied agency partners and people from mutual aid from all over the Bay and points beyond to enforce the law vigorously. There are more cops out there, not less. We've made 10 DUI arrests since this incident started, and we just don't need that right now. So one of them even just drove right up to one of the closures that one of our people was on, and sort of a freebie, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, so please be safe, take care of each other. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome Barbie Robinson, the Sonoma County Director of Health Services.
Good evening. I'd like to provide a couple of health reminders for the community. First, I want to talk about air quality. Due to the Kincade fire, the Sonoma County Health Officer has issued a health advisory. And what that means is that all residents should limit their exposure to outside. And if you have medical conditions, please consult your physicians and your providers in regards to the safeguards that you need to take to protect your health and well-being. Secondly, I want to talk about food safety. As you know, many of our evacuated zones have been without power for several days, and our advisory is that if you have been without power for more than 4 hours, please, please, please disregard any of your food products in your refrigerator. Any products that are 40-degree temperature or higher are not safe for consumption, and so please dispose of those foods. It's better to throw those things out than to become ill. And then thirdly, we know that this fire has caused distress for many residents, and we just want everyone to know that there are mental health resources, crisis counseling resources available to the community to provide support. If you're in need of those services, please call 211 and they will be able to connect you with providers that can provide support and resources. And then lastly, we are under a cold weather advisory over the next few days. And so we want to warn individuals, in particular our unsheltered population, that they can seek shelter at many of our evacuation shelter sites. And we want to encourage folks that are living in tents or living in their cars to please come in and seek shelter during this cold weather advisory. Thank you.
Our final formal speaker for the evening from the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, Chair Rabbit.
Thank you, and I just have to start off again on behalf of all the electeds behind me, as I know this is true, just to say some thank yous, certainly to CAL FIRE, to our firefighters here in Sonoma County, to our law enforcement, our sheriff, for doing such a spectacular job, and all of our law enforcement partners. I also need to mention the county and the city staff employees who have been working around the clock, and all the support staff that are out there, including the dispatchers who have been also working around the clock. I want to mention also the American Red Cross and the county. Dozens, if not hundreds, of volunteers at the shelters throughout this county of Sonoma, but also in Napa, Marin, San Francisco, and Alameda. I also want to thank the community as a whole in the region for the outpouring of concern for our county and our residents. I think what's true and has been said before, that people's humanity and pure generosity is at full display at moments of need like this. Our shelters are up and operating, and I know the shelter in Petaluma today had a magician for the kids, had an art center for the kids, had restaurants coming through to feed folks. We are very fortunate to have such great volunteerism within this Bay Area region in Sonoma County. I think what's been said as well, again, stay vigilant. We are not done. Make sure that you are signed up for the emergency alerts through SoCo Alert and the Nixle if you're not there already. There's up-to-date information on socoemergency.org, S-O-C-O emergency.org. And please call 211 if you have non-emergency questions about evacuation areas or non-emergency assistance with evacuation. Again, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends. Continue to practice patience. It is going to be a little bit longer. We all are, our hearts and prayers are with the firefighters out there doing a spectacular job, but with the situation so fluid, with the wind still blowing, we're not through this yet. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to summarize a few points, we are under red flag conditions tonight. As we talked about earlier, this is going to be the hopefully one of the final tests of these fire perimeters, especially on the western side, the Highway 101 corridor area. That is also the reason why the evacuation orders remain in place for a majority of that part of the county. There is a large contingent of resources in the populated areas as a result. And rest assured, there are hundreds of firefighters around those populated areas to put up the strongest defense possible as these winds surface. And finally, the map for the single evacuation area for all three counties. It's behind me. I mentioned it earlier. I just want to acknowledge the hard work that does not get seen, but is critical to information getting out, and that's the work of the County Emergency Operations Center and the OES staff that works in there. Phenomenal work. That's a direct result of it, and it's something that needs to be acknowledged because a lot of times they do such an incredible amount of work that gets done off-site. With that, I'm happy to answer, or anyone up here is happy to answer any questions.
Can you talk about firefighter injuries? We heard a report that someone fainted out on a fire line today, and then just in general, how firefighter morale is doing, even though you all are working really hard.
Yeah, great question. So the question was about firefighter injuries on the line today and morale. I do know there was at least one medical emergency on the line. I understand that it's a minor medical emergency, and I don't have anything further.
How are you guys holding up?
Good, yeah. It's, we're almost a week into this incident now. Crews are on rotation. I think the best way to describe it is we're in a battle rhythm is the best way to put it. The days, the shifts are very structured now. We have resources that are assigned to areas shift over shift. And I think firefighters are ready to turn the corner after this wind event and really put some closure and some stability back into the community. Any other questions? Yeah, keep going.
Can we talk about the wind direction and how I know the fire was headed east, but now with the wind moving back, what areas of Sonoma County are you most worried about?
Yeah, so I think that's a valid question. What areas are we most worried about, and especially tonight? It really is the wind that is that offshore wind that is pushing from that northeast direction. The offshore winds are, the first night, if you remember, the fire grew 10,000 acres in 8 hours because of the offshore winds. Those conditions tend to push the fire downhill, and our biggest concern is this western perimeter south of Windsor into the northern part of Santa Rosa, where the winds would be blowing. That is why there is such a large number of resources in that area, and that's why we have the additional contingency branch to chase spot fires and do kind of point-to-point defense on structures.
Are there a lot of firefighters in neighborhoods on specific structure defense?
Yeah, there is. So structure defense is a priority, as well as perimeter control. Those are our two tactical objectives at the moment.
Hey, can you explain a little bit more behind that containment number and why that number hasn't gone up in the past 24 hours?
Yeah, so the question was why the containment number hasn't gone up. If you remember, we were at 10%. We dropped down to 5% after that. The fire made a big run this weekend, and now we've been able to fight back to 15%. The reason that it's holding at 15 is really because the Lowe's lines are going to be tested tonight. We know that 15% of the fire, the wind is going to hold, even if we have a 60-mile-an-hour wind on it. The real test is going to be on a lot of the other line. How does it do when 60-mile-an-hour winds hit it? I think after this wind event goes through, you should see some bigger containment numbers coming up in the later part of the week. All right, with that, I'm just going to take about 30 seconds to stop the recording for the English language version, and we'll roll right into the Spanish language version. Just want to say thank you to everybody. This concludes this portion.